record button, and then I'll say, yo, what up? How's it going, buddy?
Oh, good. How about you?
I'm quite well. In for a deck doctor. Let's get to it. For anybody who doesn't know how deck doctors work, basically, Cyclic is going to give me an elevator pitch on a super sweet Hatsume deck, and we're going to go through and we're going to clean it out and conversate and see what we can do to make this deck even better, even more awesome than it currently is. So with that, hit me with it. What's the elevator pitch for this super awesome Hatsume deck?
I mean, it's kind of in the name, the meme part of it, but at the same time, this character is efficiency dot character and has efficiency dot symbol.
Right,
So
right.
mash those two together and see that almost every life weapon attack has the low zone on it.
Okay.
So
Okay. I
uh,
did get
I
through
feel like this
talking.
deck kind of built itself.
I did get through telling somebody earlier today that like all one zone decks aren't going to exist in set 2, and I've had two people just like show me all low zone decks. We have your deck and then
I
the
think
Nobu deck I saw last night.
I think low zone is the deck to do it in because of coming out of set one, at least in the early set 2 days.
Right.
People
Yeah,
are
yeah,
still
yeah.
going to be defending against the all high decks
Right.
and won't have. I mean, you can't have a bunch of low blocks because they just don't exist.
Correct. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay,
And
so
then
the attack lineup is.
part of the elevator pitch, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
We also side into 8 high attacks to kind of bait and switch them for game 2 and 3.
Oh, I love that. That's very, very funny. That's very, very funny. Okay. All right, so looks like everything's a low except for the one home run comment of the main board for the hardest switch up ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have them guessing. For electromagnetic stomp. How do you feel about this card? As somebody who's like trying to play
It's
Hatsume, right?
it's a huge efficiency card. Like it's a 4 diff 4 low for 4, which is all the stats you could ever want. It's stun 1. It readies an asset, which in this deck readies Trace Sheet Cape or just gives another +1/+1.
Right.
So you get to either unflip or +1/+1. And then it has half of what makes Meteor Shower really good with the instant recursion.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. At a way cheaper cost. A way cheaper cost.
Yes.
Yeah, this card is technically a weaker meteor shower, but like you have to jump through way less hoops to get to it.
It's also got a much better block, so it's relevant on both turns.
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice life, nice knife slice, no brainer. Quick capture net, no brainer. Comet we already talked about. Naval laser charge is interesting. Is it just because it's a weapon? Low attack weapon? Is this the only option?
And its other enhance is always online.
The
Your
if I
character
flip?
flips for
Oh
cost.
yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay, so this thing gets like real big for free. Okay, and then my next one just gets 1/1. That's neato. That's neato.
It's
Um,
efficiency dot deck.
yeah, I think the biggest thing that I'm seeing here, I'm gonna look at some attacks, life, and then I'll click the low attack button. Um,
Doesn't have finishers.
and it doesn't have speed is my biggest thing, right? Like she puts 1,000 damage on things, but like, how do we get them fast? We have to string out, like we have to. We're not
Mm-hmm.
allowed to not string out because like putting 100 damage on Great Capture Net is super cool, and then they block it. And so
And
like
then it's still stunned too, and you follow up with another 4 diff that's also going to be low. It's coming in for 10 plus damage.
right, I'm just nervous that we're just not gonna have enough speed. But I'm gonna look for our speed stuff in the foundations because that might just be where we have to get it.
So my pitch for speed is Box Full of Babies provides a small amount of speed.
Uh-huh.
You get to ready it a little bit with Electromagnetic Stomp, but also just 4x Glamorous. If they have speed reduction, then I counteract that speed reduction. That's what I care about more than getting everything to like unblockable before they do anything.
Right. That's fair. How would you feel about rescue completed? Or First villain encounter or the zero diff Midoriya card, Battle Resolve. Are any of those appealing at all?
I've been playing Rescue Completed for a long time in my Jiro deck, and I cut it eventually. I don't like the card that much.
Okay.
It just doesn't do enough for being a 3 diff.
Okay.
That's also a different deck with 2 checks.
Oh,
So
for sure.
in this deck, it's mostly not in there because Excited for Blood is a better card.
I actually think that Battle Resolve might be the answer, right? Because I don't think that you don't need to put a ton of speed on everything, but I think if you can like have one of these push over for like commit my 2 foundations for +3 speed, and then flip something for the plus up to 6 damage, right? And then on your next one, be able to like commit all your babies and be like, all right, this one gets +4, and then it gets 1,000 damage with or +4 +10 because of box full of babies, and then flip one, right? Or I guess it's max 5, right? Because it's unique.
Yeah.
Max 5. Okay, cool. But I think the answer might actually be Battle Resolve. Thoughts?
I'm not super against it. Like
Okay.
floating around my babies doesn't have a lot of synergies in this deck that it becomes necessary, so it
That's how
might
I
just
feel.
be the better 0 diff.
That's how I feel. It's technically a 1 better block. It technically has some sort of defense. This is a very, very one press card. I'm actually just gonna cut floating, and we're gonna put in the 4 Battle Resolve because I think that accidentally finding this +3 speed on a move, and it's good spam, right? Like it feels good. Like even if it's just like, oh man, I'm gonna commit these 2 copies to give my home run comet the 3 speed that it needs in order to get the job done late into my string, and then I will flip one of them with Hatsume, and then I'll add that one to my momentum with home run comet to then hit my powerful. Might just be enough, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that, and it keeps our block zones where they're at. Okay. Double Trashik Cape. There's the other asset,
Quick
right?
create.
Are we not caring about it?
It was more of a keep an eye on it for future revisions type of card. I don't think it is great in this because I'm not running direct recursion like Unwavering Slash.
My biggest thing about it, right, is I think that you could easily get away with 1 Trey Chic and 1 quick creation in the deck, or even just put the quick creation in because it has words that your deck doesn't have, and that's deadlock. You don't have any deadlock pressure whatsoever, and
Except for Trey Cheek.
Except for Trey Chic, which gets to pick up 1.
Well, true naval laser charge.
Just naval laser charge, exclusively charge. Whereas quick creation says that your knife slice starts at 5/5 or 10/10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would totally put 1 quick creation in just because like your deck wants to go to turn 4, right? At the very latest, we're a turn 4 deck in order to be fully online because of box full
turn
of babies.
Turn 4 going second, turn 5 going first.
Right. Correct. Yeah, I think it is worth going up the number, especially because you're already losing 4 cards out of your deck. I think that we have, like, if you want to keep a tight 50, we have 4 cards that we're allowed to play with. You know, because like going to 51 does not hurt us because we're losing 4 cards out of the main, right? Because they just get removed. So that's already like being fine on our consistency factor.
I don't think I'd stop at 1 quick create in a later version of the deck, though.
Say again?
I don't think I'd stop at just 1 quick create in the later versions of the deck, though.
You think you would play more, or?
I think it could go up to 3 of, and I wouldn't hate it. Because that opens up the possibility of just a bunch of free damage with May.
100%. 100%. And if you want to, right? Like inside of your sideboard, if like some of these cards aren't cutting it for you, which I'll cut the Battle Resolve out of your sideboard, you could like sideboard another character, or just like, I mean, hell, even just sideboarding like 3 of the weapon asset and 2 staff strike, like, might be a thing that like just gets you there accidentally. Like putting the home run comet late in the chain on a staff strike with a quick create, like, might just be what gets you there, you know? Like if I have to go super long, like that's my I'm playing to turn 7 game. Here it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more of a turn 3 type of thing
Okay.
because this deck would like. I don't think you're aiming to get all 4 box full of babies out to kill them in this deck because that just seems kind of silly. You don't have the throws. You don't have the guaranteed damage to just ping them 1 attack each turn, even though this deck would love to do that.
For sure.
I don't think that's an avenue. You have to find a turn to string out. So a lot of the time, this deck will probably be aiming for that build 5, go in on 3.
Huh. Okay. That is a tall order with a 5-hander, but we will certainly do our best.
Yeah, that's true. Build 5 on 1 is probably a bit much unless you're going second.
Right. Right.
There's a comment about defense. Who needs defense when you've got 28 health?
Yeah, 28 5-hand size health. That's so much. We'll be fine.
And
We'll be
like
fine.
15 1+1 blocks.
I mean, you also are playing triple. No, you got face shields on the sideboard. I guess you got 4 face shields on the sideboard. You could put wall cling in the sideboard if you wanted to. We have passing the torch. Passing torch is not even in our deck.
No,
Just not feeling it.
no. There's enough draw.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, it could be a consideration, but it doesn't feel like a good option.
I guess. I mean, we're playing preparing for battle because it's a low block, right? Because we've only got 15 of them bad boys.
Because it's a spam and a low block and
The
breaker.
other thing that we could look at is possibly putting. I mean, this is just more speed, right? Is start with the basics. It's just +1 speed, +2 damage, and then we can flip it with Hatsume to give a bunch more damage. It's just enough to sometimes matter, you know. You know what I actually want to do? I actually just want to put in a singular copy, the spicy one of the rescue completed, and it would just make your block zones even, and then you would be at your 50 card deck with these 4 cards being cut out. It's you have 4 3 diffs in your deck, but that's fine. That's fine. And it says that anytime that you like it also says that you're allowed to string out longer, right? Because you're flipping all these cards that you can destroy this card and ready 2 face downs and then keep it rocking.
I feel like if I'm going up to 50 cards plus box full of babies, I'd want to run more attacks. And there's not a ton of options for more attacks while keeping with the low meme.
Well, every turn you increase the hand size as long as you see an attack, right?
Exactly, but 5 hand sizer on 50 cards with 17 attacks is going to have trouble seeing consistently 1 attack a turn.
So we cut quick create down to 2. Down to 52. And then now we're at 48 cards in our deck.
I mean, it could just be a situation where instant Shining Flash starts in main board instead of sideboard.
Shining
or at
Flash
least some
and
copies of it.
not the Comet. It's just because I think is it just because we already have enough damage and this is just a better block zone. It also like it's a better block zone for the deck because we don't need more mids. Yeah, we could push this to. Let me do some looking.
It's more of a, I feel like Home Run Comet provokes some kind of response from your opponent, whereas Instant Shining Flash doesn't. Plus, Instant Shining Flash gets the -1 difficulty on the next, so it strings out better.
Huh.
Plus, Home Run Comet's not as like universally great in this deck because you don't get as big powerful off of it.
Right.
Capture Net and Naval Laser Charge have charge, but nothing else unless you add in Instant Shining Flash.
That's fair.
Will increase the powerful rating.
Dang, why are we even bothering with Home Run Comet?
memes.
Oh, hey, good point, I guess. um, yeah, I actually would kind of just rather see Instant Shining Flash just start in the deck, right? Because like we can get everything Home Run Comet big.
Yeah. I mean, not quite that big, but everything's probably coming in the 7 to 10 damage range if you're on turn 3.
I guess it's a mid block. Man, this is this is a tough one. This is a tough one.
Zero Gravity Lift just doesn't share anything with May and doesn't wear any of the buffs.
The only thing that Zero Gravity Lift does is it says that on a previous turn you can jam Electromagnetic Stomp into your deck, and then if you have another move, you can commit a Foundation and pick it right back up on the same turn, right? Like it's the same idea with Meteor Shower, and it puts them in a little bit more of the danger zone.
It's kind of that argument of, do you want guaranteed damage or do you want to be able to string out better?
Right. But doesn't Zero Gravity Lift just do that? Doesn't it do both? It's guaranteed damage, and on the turn after it resolves, it lets you string out harder because you clear one progressive.
And possibly get an extra attack.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go a little bit more into depth on why I don't like passing the torch in her.
Sure.
Because committing a foundation is a very high cost, especially when most of your foundations are trying to be committed to play more cards and not to draw cards.
I can totally see that, yeah.
So playing passing the torch means that I have a foundation there, but I can't really use it other than to flip it after I commit it for May. And on a 5-hand size, electing to play a card on turn 1 that you can't really commit for cost seems like not great.
What if we took out Home Run Comet, 1 Naval Laser Charge, and we put in the double throw? We put in the double Zero Gravity Lift. It is a fine tactic with Electromagnetic Stomp. The only other thing that I can see is like this is the only other momentum out that we have, right? We have no other momentum outs in the deck, right? Yeah. We've got nothing. So maybe if we can find one sort of momentum out, possibly. But I think an all low attack deck is going to be rough with it. Yeah, there's literally no momentum outs on all the low attacks. Any of the life foundations have a momentum out? I don't think so. If I target Gift for Mom, tight. That's a momentum out.
So many punches.
Hell yeah, I'm into it. No, literally none. Literally none.
Yeah, it's not really a symbol that has a ton.
Yeah, so
the only momentum out would be if I committed to a staff strike line.
Right. I mean, if you want to talk about a one of that's a mid block, it could just be staff strike.
It could.
If you find it, you find. I think it would just be more value in your deck than this Home Run Comet would be.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Huh. Maybe that's the answer. So the question is do you want to run throws or do you want to run the staff strike? That's the question.
I wish I didn't have to run either.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is your deck, right? So I mean, you could just take this advice and be like, "Yo, it doesn't exist." I would suggest putting them in your sideboard for whenever you're like playtesting and being like, "Well, these are the other options that I could have played."
It is something that I need to test.
Yeah. I think if I was forced on this low attack run, I think that I would actually play the I would put Naval Laser Charge down to a 2 of, or sorry, down to a 3 of. I would take out Home Run Comet and I would just put in 2 of the
Zero Gravity Lift.
Zero Gravity Lift. I think that's what I would do. Just because it says that like for every copy of Zero Gravity Lift that I get to hit, I have an extra stomp. And so Zero Gravity Lift becomes Stomp, which is just another low attack. And Zero Gravity Lift feels really good as a poke for the turns that I'm trying to find my box full of babies and like I'm slowly building up. Like on my prime turns, Zero Gravity Lift is like the best thing to play on these prime turns. The best thing.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That, or if we're just talking about throws, back alley haymaker. Or that's not the right name.
Oh, the other one. Yeah. Not reverse throw. The one that
Overhead
we both
reversal.
know we're talking about.
Overhead
reversal. Not a reversal, not an overhead. Livid.
And
Could
it
be
doesn't
bad.
pick up an extra kick later in turns.
Correct. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. I think I'm just gonna take those cards out because this is right now. This is my deck list. We toss these two in here and we refresh.
And this is obviously just a week -2 first week testing.
Yeah, for sure.
Type of deck.
Yeah.
It's, does she have enough gas on life to go with this kind of build?
Yeah. This would be one of the most fun locals decks you could make.
Otherwise, there's a lot of the stuff that shares with Evil, which is the stuff I'm interested in.
Okay.
I just haven't fleshed that one out together. It retains Knife Slice, it retains Stomp. Obviously, it's her card.
Right.
But you get Stain support.
And then like now that like so the big thing about the evil symbol that I'm excited for set 2, which is fun that you brought it up, is the evil symbol is going to feel so fresh and free because we have access to like the rest of like a real kit. And so like all the set 1 evil synergies that we've like left in the dust can actually like maybe be played in this Hatsume deck, right?
Yeah, I mean, Evil's got some good attacks and a couple good techie foundations. They just don't create a deck together.
Right.
But like things like Double Blade Slash are huge draws to the Evil symbol for this character because it's 5 speed mid, stun 1, 6 speed mid if you want to pay a health, and then you give it a bunch of damage.
Right.
The only downside to Evil, and sorry if this is too off topic for a deck doctor.
Yeah, you're good.
You don't have any additional assets to play.
Right.
You just have box full of babies.
100%. But flip for +4 damage is still good, right? Like that's still a great exchange rate. You just don't get to like, pog off on like on Aaron Life or All in Life.
I kind of look at it as flip for +2 to 3 damage, so like 2.5 damage.
Okay.
Because if I'm getting to turn 4 or 5, then I need other plans to actually kill them.
Right. That is fair. Yo, 7 Thunders with the raid. Thank you guys. So what are your thoughts on this? We technically only made 2 changes, right? Of Zero Gravity Lift and then the Battle Resolve.
And Quick Create.
And Quick Create. Yeah. But all in all, I think the deck is good as is. Like everything that you said for all of these is like worth it. I guess like someone with style is the only other thing that I could maybe possibly be like maybe on, but I think stun is going to be massive in the next set. And so having someone with style on in week 1 with all the Todoroki 2s running around, I think is going to be good.
I think someone with style also gets a lot of value in a type of string deck that this is.
Right.
Because you get to commit it to pay cost, you get to ready it, you get to commit it again, and you get to flip it.
Right.
And you get to destroy things that you flipped earlier in the turn.
I dig it, man. I really, really dig it.
At the very least, it's given me ideas of things I need to test with.
Yeah. Anything that you vehemently disagree with, that you hate, that you're like, absolutely not? Besides the Zero Gravity Lift, I just don't know how to fit another low attack. You could, if you wanted to be crazy with it, right? You could throw in the Vine Capture or whatever low attack, and then like mainboard like 1 or 2 shields if you wanted to, just for that small little tactic. But I think that Zero Gravity Lift is just going to feel better with how it's a tactic with Stomp.
I think, unfortunately, Zero Gravity Lift might end up at a 4 in this deck.
Do you want to just jam it at the 4 now?
I think it does everything she wants it to do on a what did you call it? A
Prime turn.
prime turn.
Yeah. First 2 turns of the game.
Yeah. And then you'd probably go down on naval laser charges.
To a 2 of?
To a 2 of, probably to test out. With a 50 card deck, 18 attacks is fine.
Yeah. Especially with later in the game, we're going to be drawing a bunch with the babies. And Excited for Blood, right? We could draw with Excited for Blood too.
Yeah. I mean, if you poke them, you get to a draw. That first time you hit, you get to pick up more stuff.
Oh, we're gonna hit, baby. Oh, we're gonna hit. We're playing for it. We're playing for throws. We're in there. All right, buddy. Thank you for the support on Patreon. This is a very, very fun, very hard deck. It's a very hard deck to help Doctor. So I appreciate you bringing it to me.
Well, thank you for the ideas.
You're very welcome. Let me get you a copy of this, and you have a good rest of your day. Okay.
Yep, you too.
Peace, brother.